Hey, how's it going, Mr. Elijah?
Hi, Jack. I'm good. How is your day going?
It's going, man. I really appreciate you coming on. I know this is going to be a real fun, interesting time, and we're going to keep it going.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. If you can, give a small introduction of who you are and everything, and what you're working on.
Hi, everyone at home. I'm Elijah. My mom calls me her little man. Just moved here recently from North Carolina. Just met Jack a couple weeks ago. He told me he had this platform. So I'm happy to be here and hope you all enjoy. Hope you learn something.
Now, we're going to do the best we can, and it's kind of funny because when I picked you up, the first thing you said, I got some beers.
Yeah.
And I looked at the clock. I was like, all right, it's 9:12 right
Yeah.
now. And you're like, well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And I'm like, okay, I'll take that. So cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
And it's kind of funny of how me and Elijah met. We just met a couple of weeks ago, like you said. We were at a bar with each other, and I was with my dad. And Elijah was sitting next to us, and he had these really nice fancy boots on and stuff. And I was like, man, these are really cool boots. And I was like thinking in my head, like, these things made for walking.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're not even actually my size. They're actually women's boots.
Are they really? Oh.
Yeah.
That's why they look so tight.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're like pointed. I think men's boots are a little more rounded. But I saw them and they were like pearled, so I had to have them.
They were more like a Prince style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Prince would definitely like wear something like that.
You think so?
Oh, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Prince was like the king of rock and roll almost at one time, and
Oh, yeah.
he wouldn't care like what he would wear. And
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I heard about the chaps too. Did you see him in chaps?
I probably have. No, that guy is just very cool. I had a client once back in the day doing real estate, and when he passed away, they auctioned a lot of his stuff at like an estate sale, and they actually was able to get one of his pianos. He had like, I'm pretty sure like over 20 pianos probably at his house. But this one was like maybe in his living room, and it was really cool. And when I listed the house and I was walking the house, he said, "You know whose piano that was?" I was like, "No." You know what I mean? Like, nowhere in the top of my head I would have guessed it, like, it's Prince's piano.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn, can I sit there? I was like, damn, he touched this piano.
Right. That's incredible. I know Prince was known for Doves in the Sky. I think that song is beautiful. And Raspberry Beret. I got into some work with Jermaine and his manager, and we're not really on like a first name basis, so I should say J. Cole. But we
Kind of interacted at one point.
it was more like a auditioning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like he wanted me to rap because I'm from North Carolina. Well, I grew up in North Carolina. But excuse me,
Oh, no, you're good. But what was his name again?
J. Cole.
J. Cole? So
Yeah.
you got to meet J. Cole?
I didn't get to meet him, but we were in the same building.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So it was like a similar circle campaign type of thing. And I had like, at the time I was a manager and a photographer. So I was only there for like business administration.
Yeah.
And I ended up back in Florida a short while after that. And I ended up meeting T.I. Are you familiar with T.I.? Ended up meeting T.I. I was a valet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was a really fun job. I wrecked a couple cars, and they ended up firing me. So it wasn't. It was the third shift. So I was kind of tired, and the parking spaces were kind of weird. And
next thing you know, you're just like,
I'm a liability at that point.
Yeah, no, I got that. No, it's crazy because you can meet a lot of people and everything doing that type of job because you just interact with people all day long. And I remember on this one video of hearing like Andrew Tate. I don't know if you know who that is and everything. And this guy was taking photos. It was like not a valet guy, but he was just taking photos of cars pulling up, and he just asked every single one of them to take photos of cars. And he just meets people that way, and just taking photos of their cars and editing it, and so I can send you the photo afterwards.
Oh yeah,
because you never know, like that person loves their car, and they get a cool ass photo of it. You know what I mean? Like
so
guy just ends up meeting people that way.
Andrew Tate is a photographer?
No. Andrew Tate's, I guess he's more like an entrepreneur. He has like his own like YouTube channel, a little bit of a podcast called The War Room, I'm pretty sure. Everyone gives him a lot of hate, Tate hate, because like he like ran like an OnlyFans business, like as a manager for like girls and stuff, and then got really big of like buying Bitcoin and being like pushing businesses and meeting a whole bunch of business people. But I think he opened up a bar and everything first. Then he pretty much just like acted as like just messaging like the guys, and they just made photos. But like then people tried taking him to court for like sex trafficking, and every single one of the girls was like, no, he didn't sex traffic us at all. We actually came to him to manage us and everything like that. Yeah. And you never know what kind of business you're gonna get yourself into. And I bet they didn't think that they were gonna get so big in like the media scene to be able to get seen like that. And they're all taking them to court. Everything got knocked, like everything, nothing there. You know what I mean? Like he said, "What? We're taking feet pics, pretty much." Like, what are we doing? But if you like check his, and he was a professional kickboxer too, like actually a legit one. And I think he was actually like a champion, like a world champion. I don't know world, but I know he was a champion in kickboxing. And so he was actually a legit fighter. But a lot of people don't like his attitude because he does look like a little bit of a character. But that just kind of gets built upon you, like when you're just always interacting with people. So you never know like what's going to come out of your mouth, and can't be afraid to what comes out of your mouth, and just be who you are. If you get some criticism, you learn from it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you do need some hate to be able to understand what you're doing wrong.
Not necessarily. I don't think the criticism, if it's constructive, can be healthy. Otherwise, it's just negativity at that point. Yeah. And some people feed off negativity, like vampires and parasites and termites and insects of that nature, like ticks.
Well, that's like the media. You know what I mean? Like all they do is just like they look for the negativity. They don't report every safe plane landing. They would only report like the crashes, obviously. So like they don't look at all the good things that someone does compared to like the not so many things of what they did bad. Then they look at that. They look at the bad things instead of looking
magnifying glass. Yeah,
is like they might not be doing the things that they're doing, or they want to do the things that they're doing. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off right there.
Oh no, that was the analogy.
Oh, okay.
When you pinpoint like an ache or a pain or an isolation, and then it's like an incision at that point, and then things get like very critical.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's going back to like him for a second, like Andrew Tate. It was just kind of interesting, like how he did get into business like that, then got successful, then got to meet people, and then he's just trying to motivate kind of like younger guys to find the right girl, almost in a way. So it's kind of like the guy kind of looks hypocritical because like he's doing all this stuff, but I don't think he does it anymore. I think he only did for like a little while, but he was you make a lot of money doing it. I mean, you're like, you take the bite of an apple that you don't know what you're gonna get out of it. It's very interesting. And so I can never. It's like kind of knowing both sides of a story, and some people don't see the other side of like the good things that he does and try to motivate people. They say like his class with the war room is a scam, but like of how many people go on there and actually become successful from his like guidance, almost like in a way of like buying crypto or like investing in properties and stuff like that. You know, it's interesting, and but they always want to look at the negative things because he's just having fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's humble, he is religious, but then like he does have this ego. But like everyone has an ego to a certain extent that feeds off of something. You know, it's kind of like what you were saying, like the negativity. You know, like we all have to have something to kind of like drive us in a way. If it's not going to be negativity, it's going to be positivity.
It's usually correlated to currency.
Mm-hmm. Oh, whoa. Go a little bit about that. Is that your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, you're good.
The difference between like a free society or a free nation, like my man Roy G. Biv would put it, he knows that the American dream, like that ideal fake it till you make it mantra, is relative to dust.
Yeah.
Like it's ancient.
Well, when you say like fake it till you make it, I think like you have to not be fake, but like put yourself out there to really find out really like who you are to really do it.
Yeah, but
because you get caught up in the lies, people will read right through you. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, it's not really, because then being an open book, I don't think there's anything against being an open book. I think if you're a genuine person and you're kind to people and you reciprocate their energy, then that karma that you receive will benefit you no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
It's not about just the negativity. It's about the value that you place on other people's circumstances. Like if you think watching people drink blood is okay, not even from a religious aspect, but from a cannibalism perspective, then
Yeah, because everyone has blood. You know,
Yeah.
like so then you get a craving for any type of blood, almost in a way.
except for like plants and stuff like that. They have
That's kind of funny. They would stay away from the plants, but
Yeah.
they would take the blood. No, that's interesting. It's a great way to look at it too. Are you vegetarian or anything like that? Do you eat meat?
I'm a juicer.
You're a juicer?
I eat meat. I got some steaks in the fridge. I
Okay.
think they're spoiling.
Yeah.
So
How old are they? How long have they been in there for?
They only been in there for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, you gotta eat
They
them.
were-
You gotta eat them within 2 days of like getting them, pretty much.
Yeah. I put them in the freezer and I took them out. And I was like, I want to have these steaks.
You should cut them up frozen, because that's what I do sometimes. And then I'll throw them in the pan. I'll season it all up, like as it like so you thaw it like a little bit. Then you cut it up as it's still kind of frozen, and you'd be surprised like how you do get that really good medium rare like in the middle still, because it melts it. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Because I do with fish, like when I cook cod, I would just like throw it in the pan, and as it's actually like frozen, it's like a block of ice, and because I just break it all up, you know what I mean? Anyways, put a little lemon juice and garlic and everything in it, and but it literally just dethaws itself as you throw it in there. But people always think steak, they're like, oh, it's gonna be raw in the middle, but like if you just dethaw it just a little bit and just enough to cut it, I mean, if you can cut it regularly as it's frozen, then yeah, you can throw it in the pan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I never thought that until the other day.
Yeah.
Like it's cool.
I gotta buy some cookware. What kind of cookware do you use?
I just get like stainless steel pans.
From
I think I got them at Home Goods actually.
Home Goods. What is that?
So it's kind of like a TJ Maxx.
Is that around here?
Yeah, it's kind of like a home decor store. They pretty much have leftover furniture from stores, and they send them to like a store like this, almost like a wholesale store, and it's kind of like leftover inventory, almost in a way, just like how Nordstrom Rack is, just leftover inventory from like things that they didn't sell. They got to take out of their store and put it in another warehouse, and that's like very cool in the type of market. I like looking at things because it might not be in style now anymore, but like it's kind of like buying another man's trash, another man's treasure, almost in a way, because like all the stuff does the same thing. You know what I mean? Like all the home cookware, they're just gonna move it on to somewhere else. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
but it's just like, I don't know, buying wholesale stuff, and that's where I got my pans. I'm pretty positive I got it there, or I got them at Walmart. Is Walmart always has like a good bundle on pans and everything, but I'm pretty sure I got it from Home Goods. Yeah, you should check it out. You'll like it. You go in there, it's kind of like a candy store of furniture and everything. It's interesting. If you like furniture, anyways. But so I know you do music, and like, what is your what's it called? Like, what's your producer name, or like, what is your name like in the music industry?
I've had a few.
You know, when I first met you, you said your name was Elijah.
Yes.
I always, in my phone, is Elijah Elliott.
Yeah.
I thought,
Elliott Reese Forney is my given name. That's the name my mom gave me. And Elijah Muhammad Fafrale is my stage name.
Okay. Muhammad, what was it?
Farfalle.
Farfalle?
Yeah, it means little foot.
Okay, I got little feet. It's good band too. Have you ever heard of the band called Little Feat?
No.
It's like their cover was like a cherry red tomato. And the guy's like sitting in a hammock. It's a really good jam band. I've seen them a couple of times, like at Virginia Beach at this little orchestrated amphitheater in Town Center. Definitely check them out. They have a song called Dixie Chicken. It's really, it's kind of funny.
Word.
But no, I love music, and like I have such like respect for the people who are trying to put themselves out there, like yourself and everything, and that's why I kind of want to create like a podcast too, because I think we all have like voices to be heard from any type of platform. You know what I mean? Like for the music and whatnot. I think that's like one of the coolest things. So that's why I really want to have you on too, because like you're only like a few of certain amount of people who are doing things, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I got into the music industry fairly recently. I've only been contributing since I was like 13. I was in the band growing up, and one of my bandmates, his name is Ace Henderson.
Oh, okay.
He went on to pursue being an artist, and so he asked me to manage him while I was going to school for Homeland Security. And even though I wasn't in the band anymore, it was like having the opportunity to work behind the scenes with him and like schedule stuff and like make sure he gets paid and like handle the odds and ends of handle all the like boring stuff.
Yeah, being like the organizer and everything. That's cool.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was the best, but I had a few other clients as well. Like he wasn't my only manager, or he wasn't my only client project
and everything that you were working on.
Yeah. So then,
do you play any instruments? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off right there.
Yeah, I wanted to get into the guitar, but I played the saxophone for a few years. I dabbled in the piano for like a month or two, but I couldn't play that after I smoked marijuana because my vision got all like topsy-turvy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was like the keys were floating.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a really interesting experience because the first song that I learned on there, or that I was attempting to learn, was Hello by Adele. And
I was just listening to that song the other day, actually.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I have this thing with like vocabulary words because she's from London. So her appeal here in America is just astounding to me. Like, she has so much vibrato and like soulfulness. And
it's out there. It's crazy. Like, it's like literally going to like an opera, almost like kind of hearing her in a way.
Yeah.
She's got that very beautiful pitch and she hits it on point every single time. She knows what she's like hearing. And that's what's so amazing about like musicians. Like, they know when they're doing good or when they're doing bad. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, especially like when they're performing that much. And I think she just recently retired. Like for a while, probably.
Yeah, she said like 5 years.
Yeah, I imagine she has to rest it. She has to rest her voice. You know, like that's when you're doing it that much. I can definitely see that. Like, you're pushing something that like you can only push so far. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I imagine like if she has kids and she wants to talk to her grandkids one day.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? Like something like that.
Yeah, that's why I like wanted to get into the industry, because the fad right now is like hip hop, rap, that like throw 'em up, bust 'em up culture. Mm-hmm. And I think it's something to be said for the resilience attached to a singer akin to Adele, because she's one of a kind. She's like once in a blue moon, one in a million.
It's like a newborn star, you know, and that gets picked up by all the dust in the world. Yeah. And created like from all of us, almost like in a type of way.
Yeah, she's like so magnificent that I would feel lucky to be in her aura or her shadow. You know what I'm saying? It's like a fly on the wall. Or
I would say just like keep on listening to her and just like try to sing like with her the whole entire time. And then like even though you might not be able to match it, but like you get to the same tone, then you add it on some parts of your music and everything, and like you create your own chorus from it, and like inspiration from Adele. You know what I mean? Like that would be really cool.
Yeah,
because I see a lot of people. Like, I feel like rap nowadays is not like, I'm not like kind of like what we kind of grew up to in a way. Like, now it's just too poppy. They get a couple words and they replay it multiple times, and it's not like a real song or a story anymore. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I listened to a lot of rap when I was in high school. Like, I loved Immortal Technique. I loved Joey Badass. I loved Chance the Rapper. Mm-hmm. Like, Capital Steez, rest in peace. Like, people like that, you know, that had like words in their pocket and they can just juggle them around.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's just kind of like they got that beat and they just play off that beat.
Yeah.
You know, like when I see Chance's old stuff, it's like literally like a story. And of his photo albums and everything, it seems like from his childhood. You know what I mean? He's like building off like what he's actually lived. And I think some rappers now, they kind of rapping things that who they're not, and they're like want to be something that they're not. If that makes sense. But I don't know. I don't live in that industry, so I don't like. But it just seems like it's too poppy. Like your stuff, when I listen to it, it's actually like real and it's a flow and it's a story.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's very different compared to like yours is like more old school, which is better. You know what I mean? Like don't break something that's not broken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's just what's so crazy about like the music industry, because you might get stuck on one thing, but then like people catch on to it, but then they get used to it. It's kind of like an alarm. You get tired of that one sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, screw it. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
that's the most wonderful thing about the exploration attached to finding yourself through those excavations. Like once you get more into what you like, how you said sing along with Adele would have to sing along with me in order, and rap at the same time, to get like the full effect of.
What else I love about editing music nowadays? You know, like being like your own DJ in a type of way.
It's not even the DJ aspect. It's just the rapping and the singing, comparing, contrasting, like the conflict that presents itself. And then when you put them, they're like fire and ice or fire and water. So you put them both together and
creates a different type of vortex, almost like in a way.
Yeah. And so that's to give all the credit to the Adeles of our entire generation, because hopefully Adele has inspired my sisters, my brothers, my patriots, more than just me. You know
100%. Like, I think that's why, like, I like the things like what I watch, because, like, you have to get yourself out there to, like, you get inspired by it.
Yeah.
You know, like, you want to take the initiative to do it.
Yeah.
And, like, you're wondering, like, you would always wonder why if you didn't do it in the future. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't try to put yourself out there and everything. And I think people like Joe Rogan and all these other podcasters like Valuetainment, Pat David, Tim Pool, like, you see these guys that you listen to and you're like, well, I'm a good talker, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like, I love talking to people. I want to bring everyone, you know, on, be able to talk about anything. You know, I think we all have something to learn from, and I think that's what's so incredible, like, about the world, almost in a way. And but yeah, no, someone who is like Adele, who, you know, we all come from nothing, almost in a way. You know, and you have to put yourself out there to be able to be seen. And I don't know how she got there, but it's definitely from her voice, obviously. And
I feel like she went through a lot.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you can hear it. Like, there's tears in her voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and who knows what she has seen, you know, with everybody.
Yeah.
You know, everything's like doors of perception. We never know what it's like behind every closed door. You know, like, that's what's so crazy, because everyone thinks everything's fun and dandy, but then you got a clean house on the outside, everything's looking nice, but then you go on the inside of someone's house, it could be completely different. You know, but like, this room's clean. The other parts of the house are clean, but somewhat dirty, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I gotta clean up when I get back. I wanted to have more people at my place. However, I just moved here, so it's kind of difficult because I'm used to being social. So it's like, yeah, I want to hang out, but my place isn't really big enough.
Yeah.
And then it's only like a 1-bedroom, so I don't want to have like too many people over there, because then it's not accommodating.
No, I get that.
Excuse me. And then with the accommodations, it's like they leave behind germs.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that.
Well, that's what sucks about, like, bringing people over, because most of the time they don't clean up. You go to a concert, you would think everyone would throw away all their trash.
Yeah.
Then you see after the concert how much trash is left.
Yeah.
And it's that's what surprises me about a lot of things. I have friends that are like that I have some friends they're gonna stay and clean up with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's funny because one of my good friends, Adam, in Virginia Beach, I would always say, your house is dirty. Let's clean your house sometimes. And I don't know if he ever remembers me saying that on certain occasions. But because I would sleep on his couch. You know, I wouldn't want to walk home or something like that. So I would just stay over and sleep on his couch. So I felt like I had to clean up his house the next day with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just kind of make it feel like it is your type of house too, if they have the generosity to let you stay there. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's how it's interesting because a lot of people who rent a lot nowadays, they're always picking up and going. Because when I used to rent and everything, with a whole bunch of roommates, I'll see certain roommates would be like, okay, well, I'm always going to leave this place, so I don't really have to treat it with 100% care. I can treat it with 70% care.
Yeah.
Then we don't really get the real value of what it's like to have a clean room or a clean house when we get too comfortable in those type of things. Because I realized the other day, not just realized the other day, I always like to clean, and when I clean, I just bust it out real fast, and I'll just clean everything. And we always have to be prepared to bring someone who we love over. You know what I mean? I said, always be prepared. You're about to bring a girl over. You know? And but just something like that. You know, you just never know who you're gonna bring over if your bathroom's a mess. You know what I mean? Always have it clean, ready to go, because it's waiting for the love of your life, and you have the opportunity to say, "Hey, do you want to come over, hang out, meet my dog?" And then, or she asks, "Oh, let me see your dog. Let's go to your house right now." And I'll be scared that oh, my house is not clean. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that just something like that.
I don't ever have those worries. I don't worry about people's perceptions. I'm one of those Jeepers Creepers type of dudes. I blend in. So,
but we gotta make it look like what we're at our worst. You know what I mean? So if we're doing the best we can, and then if they come over and the house is not as still clean, but at least that's at our worst.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I get that. And one of the major qualms that I have with people's perception is that we're in America. So if I were to show you someone from Russia whose teeth are black or has jaundice or gingivitis.
They got black teeth in Russia?
Yeah. It's not really, it's like a tar buildup. So it's from compared to the superpowers of the world, Russia's still a superpower, but the disparity, the weather there is much more inclement. We don't have as harsh of winters.
Yeah. So everything shrinks down in the winter times and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then one of the major hindrances of the perception is that in America things are taken for granted. A porta potty compared to a bathroom is disgusting. And then you put that same porta potty somewhere in Russia or somewhere in Africa, and it becomes this idol. Because
I don't know about Russia. Russia is really nice. I've seen a lot of...
Yeah, I'm not saying... Russia is nice, but I'm saying
I don't think they need porta potties around, though.
No, but I'm saying we have porta potties.
Yeah.
So it's why wouldn't you build an actual bathroom that's like self-sustaining, like the Japanese toilets? You know, Japanese have those like the sprinklers.
Oh, you're talking about like what's it called? This a bidet.
I think so.
Yeah, the thing that shoots up your butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bidet. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I definitely see that. Like, why we have like, I think porta potties are great for certain occasions. Like, say, like building a house, like building a house, tailgating, go to a concert.
Yeah.
You know, I think porta potties are definitely evolving now. It's actually pretty insane from me going to a whole bunch of concerts because they try to keep them clean as much as possible. So they have like the urinal thing right there and the regular thing there. Mm-hmm. And nothing's like going to like a porta potty at a music festival because it could be the worst looking thing.
Yeah.
And like, what are they doing here? You know, how did it get like this?
Yeah,
you know, like. And I got to a point, now I don't want to say I was super smart, but I would always bring baby wipes now to a music festival, so I'm always ready to wipe everything down in there. Mm-hmm. Because that toilet paper can always go so far on a porta potty seat.
Yeah, you got to have hand sanitizer.
Yeah, you gotta burn it. Yeah. But like, no, Russia's really cool. I've always wanted to go. I like, it's also kind of like what you said too, about like America's kind of, we don't understand really what we have almost in a way, like how appreciate like of things. And there was one thing that Billy Graham said, who was a pastor and preacher back in the day. He said how hard it is to live in America and be a Christian compared to everywhere else, because like a lot of other people go through a lot more suffering and they'll pray to something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like here we have everything almost handed to us in a way. And because like we only need so much to really survive, but we're always wanting more. And when I heard something, I could have been from Billy Graham or somewhere, like, but God always feeds his birds. You know what I mean? You don't see like a bird knock on your door, like a crow or like a pigeon. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think those are the robots of the bird world. I have no idea. Yeah. Because from what I remember learning about crows, they're always thirsty and they're always wanting something. That's why they're one of the smartest birds, I imagine. And but it's very interesting to think of that type of perspective, because I can definitely see why people are not really religious living in America, because they see someone with more things and they want to complain about that, but then they don't see how they got there or the suffering that they went through it. Mm-hmm. You know, like, or opening a big company, you know, then that person's never met their boss. Mm-hmm. So they just see a word of mouth playing telephone and not knowing really who they are. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's just what's kind of crazy, but we always got to try to accommodate as much as we can. Mm-hmm. And for being just like being all by myself in my company and stuff and thinking about like how I could raise it in the future, you know, I always want to try and make it fair as possible. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't want to take it for granted also at the same exact time and get rolled over. Yeah. And, you know, I feel like learning from all this stuff, what's going on with the world and just with society nowadays, because we have to, if we don't know what the mistakes that went wrong in life, then we're always going to continue doing them. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's kind of like what general history with, you know, with everything that in the past of Egypt, you know, the Roman Empire and everything like that, how everything all fell, you know, and Göbekli Tepe, you know, like looking at those type of things and why were they so advanced and something happened? You know, there had to be like a middle point of us getting to a certain point where we just became so ignorant and just let things fall in, or we didn't know how to control it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very interesting because if we talk about like not Congress, like the presidency, like the recent election and everything like that, and people want to hate on Biden, people want to hate on Trump, and people want to hate on Kamala. And the one thing I heard from this whole election, even though I didn't vote, and I always say like, oh, I didn't either. Yeah, so high five there. I always say I'll only vote for myself when I run for something, because we can only focus on the things in front of us. and that's what I really truly believe in. But one thing I heard, if I did vote and everything, if I really didn't think I knew what was going to happen, because I kind of knew what the outcome was going to happen. I knew that Trump was going to get the majority vote, and I was not surprised by that, because like all the things that he was doing wrong, he was still relating with a lot of people at the same exact time. Like he might have not have done those things. We really don't know. But like if he didn't do those things, then he's getting blamed for something he didn't do wrong. Then how many people have felt that same exact thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like then when he was talking about the Ukrainian war, like he just wants people to stop dying. He's like, we don't need to keep on doing these wars. You know what I mean? Like, and people want to look at him like he's Hitler and the devil. But then you see that like the guy has never started a new war. You know what I mean? And he talked to some like, dictators and rulers of the world and said, hey, if you do that, we're just going to bomb you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not just going to fight. It's just going to be done. Then they were like, okay, this guy's serious. Well, like, okay, let's not do it. Let's try to, people want to see him like as a very bad guy, but he seems like he's one of the most forgiving people. Like, if you just like talk good to somebody, he would accept you right back, it seemed like. I feel like we have to really come to like an acceptance in life that we should just forgive people. Like there are some people who done a lot of things wrong, like I'm not going to say a lot of names, but people who like sex trafficked and everything like that. And they got to a certain point, they didn't know what they were doing and they were just making money. And they didn't know that they were even doing it. But, it's kind of like people think like, oh, would you kill Hitler when he was a baby? I'm like, no, because like, what if I got to raise him being different and we got to use that bad for good? You know what I mean? Like, it just depends like what environment a person's in, because we never know like what's going to get created from anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a person get exposed to really bad drugs when they were younger, and it just made them go loops in their head for the rest of their life, because they'll never get that feeling ever again.
Yeah.
And being a child, not me being a child, but like watching kids grow up and me growing up and everything. Like I definitely see like you don't want to mess with that kid's mind with anything. You want him to learn what he wants to learn, or she wants to learn and stuff, because then they're never going to find their way. Yeah. And, if they want to do something after they're 18 or 25, because that's when we really have a fully developed brain. That's why they don't want you to smoke cigarettes until 18. Well, now it's 21 probably. But, or drink when you're 21, because your brain stops developing as much of a sponge until you're after 25.
Do you mind if we parlay for a second with the cigarette?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, we can definitely do it. Let's see how much time we got on there. But this was good. Yeah. We can stop here. Then we can see if we can keep on going.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. All right, and we're back.
Yes.
Mr. Elijah Elliott, how you doing again?
I'm good. Yeah.
So we just went outside, smoked a cigarette, had a good conversation out there.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
What were we talking about there? We were talking about like a lot of equality,
Yeah.
Things in life that like what I was seeing from back in like in 2020 of like a social divide of things that like it was too like black and white of things, and not really having like a clear understanding of like asking the questions why people think the way that they're thinking. You know what I mean? Like instead of judging people right off the bat of things, like we're talking about like with the political standpoints, with a lot of things with racism that were coming up from back in the day.
Yeah, privilege.
Yeah, things like that. And, in America, we're all privileged in a way. And, if we go back to like the standard, the roots, like the reason why people want to come to America is so they can have the American dream to start really who they want to be, and instead of like I saw things like we're all trying to becoming the same thing, and we shouldn't really become the same thing. Then we wouldn't be who we are. Then we'll just be reading everyone's mind almost at the same exact time, And I think we're moving past that in a way. I think we're just finally accepting everyone again. And it doesn't matter like what political standpoint you're on. You know what I mean? Like, we all want the same exact thing almost. We all just want to be who we are and what we want to, and do the things that we want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's like the biggest point, and just focus on the things in front of us. You know, we get, like I said before, we got to be our own president in a way of our own life.
Yeah.
And instead of like trying to change the world so much, if we can't change ourselves, we can't change the world. So that's what I think we were getting at a little bit in a way outside.
Yeah, I like that approach as well, because I come from a pretty disciplined background. My parents are in the military. So there's a lot of like restriction. Not restriction, but like formality. And my mom is like no nonsense. She has her expectations of like what good is, what absolute is, what excellence is. She has like different standards for.
Was she in the military?
Yes.
Your mom was?
Yeah. She still is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No,
So,
usually with people in the military, they're very well structured.
yeah.
And, you know, especially women in the military, you know, like, I feel like they're probably the most disciplined in a way, like in their minds, because like they know what they want.
Yeah.
Guys, we never really know what we want so much.
Yeah.
We always want more.
Yeah. There's a excuse me. There's a lot more to be said for women fighting or joining the fight because of the whole equal opportunity, like we were speaking about. Because if you get into equal opportunity, then you have to understand that the disparity between the male and the female is something that women don't take lightly. Like, they feel very liberated in their...
Kind of like more empowered.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. So it's about being able to wield that power justly. And
Because everyone's strong, and it's kind of like Theodore Roosevelt said, like, speak softly and carry a big stick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, always be prepared for anything. You know what I mean? And just like, and choose your words wisely too.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people are getting better at that because we're all wanting to listen. You know what I mean? Like, instead of like having an argument so much in a way.
Yeah.
But go on.
No, that's what I was getting at.
Oh, okay.
Because when my sister began to study psychology, I got into learning more about what she was learning, because I wanted to understand the way people process what they were intaking, and not so much read their minds, but just be able to...
Why they kind of acting the way that they do, kind of in a way, like...
Yeah, I wanted to be able to empathize with them. I wanted to be able to feel their suffering, their plight, their struggles, their conflicts, their tension. I wanted to be able to alleviate, if I could, heal and assuage and be there as a confidant, or like...
It's kind of like watching the movie like The Scrooge. You know what I mean?
Scrooge, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you kind of want to you kind of want to understand like why he's a Scrooge.
Yeah,
you know
why
what I
he's
mean?
so upset during the holidays.
Exactly. And like, it's kind of funny how we're getting to the holidays right now, and I brought that up. But it's interesting because like sometimes people are just a Scrooge because they're just short-tempered of things, and we don't know why they're short-tempered of things. You know, they could have had a relative or mom or dad that's always said something and they triggered them. And, holidays could trigger somebody because they're not around the people that they love, possibly.
Yeah.
And they miss the people that are around them. But that's really cool that you were saying something like that because it made me think of the Scrooge. And, we're all like a Scrooge in a way, but we got to flip that around. You know what I mean? But
are you celebrating with your family for the holidays?
Yeah.
Do you have a big family?
Let's see. I got 2 sisters, and my mom and dad are split up, but we try to put up with each other. So we still have, it's always interesting, like Christmas and Thanksgiving and everything like that. Because we're like a ticking time bomb. We never know really what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it a little bit more exciting.
Okay.
It is. But we all got dragons in our life, if that makes sense.
Word.
What about you? You do anything for the holidays?
Yeah, I'm spending my holidays with my family. My mom's birthday is on the 13th of December.
You're okay.
So I went ahead and got her some gifts.
Is she still in North Carolina or is she here in Florida?
She is in Tampa.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it's not too far. It's about like 5-hour drive.
Yeah,
something like
3.
that. Really?
Like
okay.
That,
yeah, it's not that bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tampa's nice. I like Tampa a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going there?
They're coming here.
Oh, they're coming here? Mm-hmm. Nice. Perfect. That makes it easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I don't know, holidays are always a surprise. There's always something. It's like 4th of July, like in the wintertime. You just like never know what's going to pop.
Yeah.
And especially like going into the new year because everyone always wants to create new expectations of what they want to do in the future. Mm-hmm. And my biggest thing on my list was keep your house clean and dress nice every day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if we can just, not we, but if I can just do that all the time, then you're always prepared. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You never know who's going to be knocking on your door. Yeah. And like recently I was supposed to be filming this podcast with this other realtor. And it was really funny because my dyslexia kicked in, like reading her texts, like when she was going to be here and the time and the day. And I read it too fast because I was working and she kept the same day and time. And I was working and she comes to my house and knocks on my door. And I was like, darn it. Mm-hmm. Like, she's here and I read the text wrong. Like, we're supposed to do this podcast right now.
Oh, yeah.
And she wasn't mad or anything like that. She was like, we can still do it. I was like, I'm just not prepared for you. Yeah. Like, I'm not dressed like how I want to be dressed or anything. Yeah. But she did see me at my worst. Like, I work from home. I also, like, go to some other places to work. But it's just very interesting because you never know who's going to be knocking on your door. Mm-hmm. So if you're somewhat decent, that's good. That's good enough for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like that was, like a wreck. You know what I mean? Like, I was just good enough, I felt like.
Yeah.
And it was funny because she filmed a podcast, like, the next day with this real estate people. And it was so funny. I was like, damn it, I missed out. But she says she's going to come back on, hopefully. So that would be cool.
Okay.
So that would be neat. But you just never know. You know what I mean? You never know who's going to be popping up in your life and just things like that. Like, it was really cool that I got to meet you at that, bar YP's because...
Yeah.
You go there a lot. I used to go there a lot. I still want to go back there, but newer bartenders, new management, it doesn't feel like home anymore. Yeah. Like there was this one really amazing bartender who was the manager there, named Rebecca, and it was like seeing a mom figure, going to the bar, and it's like always happy to see her. Yeah. And but that's what's so great about that place because it's got that old style look to it. Like the floorboards and everything just look like, they're like 100 years old. Mm-hmm. So they can tell some stories probably. Yeah. Just so things like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
But how'd you find YP's?
Just walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because like, I might have said this before on here, probably not. But when I was living in Virginia Beach, I always wanted to open up a bar called Your Place because I thought it'd be funny to say like, how'd you meet your wife or how'd you meet your loved one? Oh, I met her at your place. Mm-hmm. I thought that was hilarious. No. And my mom lives in the neighborhood like next to it. I would just look at the closest bar. Mm-hmm. It was like YP's. I was like, check it out.
Word.
I was like, this is pretty neat. And they get live music every single day. Mm-hmm. That's what kind of drove me there to keep on going because Like it's empty during all day, but then once the music starts, like everyone starts piling in. It's very cool, and that was always my scapegoat for when things were going bad. I would just go chase music.
Yeah.
But
I feel you.
they got good wings there too.
You like the wings there? Did you have lemon pepper?
No, I get the Charlie sauce. So that's like the original. I don't know if it was the original owner, but he was one of the original people who started YP's. And he had his own sauce and stuff like that. And when the bartender told me to try it, I was like hooked from ever since then.
Word.
So it was like, damn, this guy created the sauce and no one knows the recipe. Only the GM, the regular manager, only know it. No one else knows it. So like only one person can make the sauce. So it makes it a mystery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I like it a lot.
Word.
But have you had the lemon pepper ones there? I didn't know they even had lemon pepper.
No, I had Gator Bites from Jerry's.
Oh, Jerry's is good.
Yeah, Jerry's is pretty good.
You ever had the chicken parm sandwich there?
I had the chicken parm. I had the Philly. The chicken Philly. I didn't like it.
Yeah, the chicken parm is like literally anyone, like you can split it with somebody.
Yeah.
It's huge. Like my cousin and I both got it. We both looked at each other like,
Yeah.
It was like one of those things. So it was hilarious. But I don't know. Sometimes like you always think you want a lot of food, but then like you think it's not enough. Then you get halfway. You're like, oh, I'm already full.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
No, it was the Philly cheesesteak. I had the chicken parmesan from Sienna's. But the last time I had it, the chicken, I like my chicken like extra crispy. So the chicken was like a little too soggy.
You like blackened chicken?
I love blackened chicken.
Yeah.
I like blackened fish, like tilapia. I've never had trout. My sister recommended trout.
I don't think I've ever had trout either. I love blackened seasoning because it makes it crispier. You know what I mean? It kind of gives it that crunch and everything in a way.
Yeah.
But I always I don't know, sometimes I put way too much. And that's like the thing, like if you put way too much of anything, it's always going to spoil it. It's like, damn it. There's got to be in between.
Yeah. No, the crunchiness is what I go for. Because do you fry chicken?
Sometimes Alex does, mostly my roommate.
Does he use an egg wash?
He does something like we'll do like beat it probably in egg whites or egg wash. Yeah. Like he'll do something like that. We actually were using like beef tallow and ghee. Then we were also frying with like coconut oil.
Oh, okay.
And just kind of trying to make it healthier as much as possible. When I was doing it, I was putting too much of the wings in there at once, and it was cooling, the oil faster.
Yeah.
And I realized you got to do less to make it crispier to keep it that hot. You know what I mean? Like for the wings and stuff. So I was trying to make a shortcut by like frying it, then throwing it in the air fryer. And it kind of made it like more like a jerky type. It made it like you're ripping it off the bone almost in a way.
Yeah.
I said, all right, cool, I made something.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat. But do you cook a lot of chicken? Like you fry chicken at home?
Yes, but I gotta get some more cookware. That's all I was asking about the cookware. My cookware is out of commission right now, and I gotta get a new dishwasher. My dishwasher is not working, so
Is it not like draining or anything like that properly?
It's not even like spinning. I don't think it's not. It's more than a drain.
Okay.
They have to replace it, I guess.
I would pour a whole bunch of vinegar in there and baking soda and just let that thing clean. And see what happens, because something could be like clogged in a hose or something like that. And you'd be so surprised, like my washing machine for my clothes, it was like this weird smell one day. And I was like, what the hell was that smell? And it was like my washing machine. And I was like just trying to read things online of like, what can I put in there to like clean it? And someone said just run it with baking soda in it and pour a bunch of vinegar in there too afterwards maybe. And I forgot what the routine was, but I know it was mostly baking soda. And it's just like very non-abrasive, so it doesn't clog the pipes. And like when you put it on heat, it just changes the pH in the water and just helps break everything down.
Okay.
So it could be something like nothing's not flowing properly, but I could be totally wrong. Maybe it's not spinning like you said, but something could be clogging it not to spin too maybe. You know, like technology's crazy. You know, like especially like things like that. Like it's nuts how things work. You know what I mean? Like
you got to get the circuitry and whatnot, the alternate current, the direct current. You got to have the proper outlet. Then you got to make sure there's configurations and then programming and then all these semiconductors and chips and
just get everything corresponding correctly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like with cars, if you put like, you can put like an aftermarket part in there and your engine light's going to pop up like all the time because it's not recognizing that part because it's not from the manufacturer. So it's like it gets confused. So like for some insurance companies, because you know I do insurance and stuff like that, I'm not gonna say which ones because I probably get in trouble. But like they will try to take their car to like a, not like the actual like manufacturer place, like a Toyota dealership. They'll have like their own like repair shop, and they'll just accept whatever order comes to them because they work with them, and they'll use like aftermarket parts to make it a whole lot cheaper to replace, you know, whatever they need replacing the car to not make it what's it called, like totaled. And sometimes it doesn't work out properly like longer term in the future, because like if I, with my Toyota, if something happened to it, I'm always going to take it to a Toyota dealership or, you know, a Toyota mechanic who's certified in Toyota, because then everything's going to be gone. That's Toyota. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to have a PlayStation 5 and put Xbox parts in it. Like it's not going to work out properly. It's not going to recognize the disc. I don't know, but that's just how I kind of look at things. Like it's kind of like if you have a body part, you know what I mean? Like you have to have the right donor, you have the blood type and everything for it to accept, you know, getting your arm replaced sometimes or your liver replaced. You have to be like a certain type of same blood type.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What's your blood type?
I have no idea. I think it's probably O negative or O positive. My dad's O negative.
Oh, nice.
I think he is, yeah. I would want to say, I don't know though, because like I think both my parents are the same. So that could trigger like something like becoming like AB, which is like AB is like one of the most rare ones. And because like when you look at like frequencies and like, even like battery power things and stuff like that, if you put 2 positives equals a negative, but if you put 2 negatives equals a positive.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting like how things do intertwine like that way. My mom can talk to anybody like it's nothing and not listen to what they're saying, but still can pick up the conversation. I love you, Mom.
I love you, Mom.
My dad, he'll just like be quiet and listen to everything, and they kind of create like almost a perfect thing back in the day. Yeah. But then, you know, sometimes some things don't correspond properly and they're hard to communicate with each other. Yeah. And then you gotta start anew. Yeah. You know, but things happen.
Are your sisters older than you?
No, I'm the middle one. So I got, my oldest one is 2 years older than me. My youngest one's like 3.5 years younger than me. So about 4 years younger than me. So I got 2 sisters, 2 different personalities. My oldest one, her and I were like kind of like civil rivalries, like growing up and everything like that. I was very nice. She was aggressive.
Nice.
But she, in a great way. Like she knew more like right and wrong of things, so it was easier for her to be triggered on the good things and bad things faster. That's how I see things. I could be totally wrong. Yeah. But now we're like more like best friends because, you know, we want our families to be together as much as we can, even though like we argue a lot and everything like that, but every family does. You know, no family's perfect. Yeah. And but that's, and also too, she has a baby now and she's about to have another one, so you kind of want to be in the nephew's life and stuff like that. And she has an amazing husband, and I'm so happy that like he is my brother-in-law because he's a really cool guy. But things like that.
Word. Yeah. Word. Do you like sports?
Yeah, growing up I played baseball and I wrestled a little bit, and I played 1 year of football, right, tackle football. But that was nice. Play flag, but
flag. Nice. I was on an intramural team in college for like a few games, but they ended up winning the championship. And I was on a dodgeball team in high school. We ended up winning that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Dodgeball is like the ish to me.
No, dodgeball is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think schools even have it anymore.
I don't think they do.
Yeah,
either.
they were taking it out because they said people were targeting people. Like, I'm like, have you ever played dodgeball? Obviously, you're going to target the weak ones first, or you're going to target the strong one first. Mm-hmm. Then you just got the easy guy. Then you just got the easy guy left over. But it was funny because you start out with the rubber balls, then they brought in those like soft, squishy ones. Mm-hmm. Those were great because if you know how to grip a ball, then you can just slingshot those things at people and everything, and you didn't get hurt as bad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you didn't get that rubber red mark on your face, which would make it a lot cooler.
yeah.
But no, I think they should have like more leagues of things. You know, like even like while we're older. I know like we're all getting older, and it's kind of funny if you look at the statistics. I can't even say the word statistics of like after people they turn 30 or it was like 33, like 90% of them will never run a sprint ever again. It was like something crazy. I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I want to be able to run up a hill when I'm 50 years old. My buddy Tristan always said that. He's like, I want to be able to run up a hill when I'm older. Yeah. Be kind of funny. Because there was like this one guy. The guy was in India, and they're all like climbing this big wall stone, like a big rock wall. And you see all these guys like going up it slow, don't know how to get up there, taking a long time to get to the very top. And this one older guy is like 70 years old or a lot older and everything, and he gets up there faster than everyone else. Mm-hmm. And the guy was like, how'd you do that? And he said, yoga.
Yeah.
He's like, I stretch, I pay attention. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it just stays with you. It's like muscle memory. Never let it go. You always got to just keep on moving no matter what. Yeah. You know, with your mind and your body, and there's got to be a balance also in a way. You know, like a lot of people like myself, I still sit myself on the couch all the time and just think all the time on my phone. I just put the phone down, go for a walk, and get the best thinking that way.
Yeah, that's what I do as well. I get cooped up. Excuse me. I get cooped up even though I'm not that big. And I think I have like Napoleon syndrome or something like that with the hand in the pocket.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but I take it as like a form of carrying concealed, like something distinguished.
Yeah, like kind of like something like you don't know what I have.
Yeah.
Also in a way too, because you never know what's behind the jacket.
Yeah.
You ever seen those guys who like pop out their jacket like, what clock do you want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You never know like what they're selling.
Yeah.
And you never know what they're carrying, like you said. You know, like you never know what's in the palm of your hands. So that could have been like a military aspect in a way to kind of threaten people.
Yeah.
And you don't know what the army they had. You know, or it's like maybe their way to let them know, like, I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
You know, maybe. But I could see that.
That's the main part about why I want to focus my career on giving people the access and the space and the resources and the tools that they need to be successful. Remember, we were talking about the law of success. Yeah. I read that book not read the book, but I heard about the book when I first got into the music industry. And it was intimidating, and it felt very lucrative and luxurious. So I kind of like strayed away from it because I was going through this like vagabond, nomad, instant vintage phase. Like hoboing, train spotting, stuff like that. Yeah. And
well, sometimes it's kind of like hard to find like the tools to be able to do it.
It's not hard to find the tools. You can make them yourself.
Yeah, but some people don't know how to find it or to do it yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they might have the talents and everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of like my dad said, like, someone might have the best invention, but they don't know how to produce it.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's hard to give people the tools to be able to do it. It's not hard, but sometimes people just get greedy. They don't want to give them the tools. They want them to pay for it.
Yeah.
Now, I think technology is, like, limitless almost in a way. And, no, that's a great way of looking at it, of how you said, like, you want to show people kind of how to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's some things that you do have to pay for, but there's also a lot of things that you don't have to pay for. And sometimes you have to start with the things that are free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to be able to know, like, what you're buying, too, at the same exact time, to, like, to create who you are.
What do you think free is?
Breathing.
Breathing's not free.
No.
No, it takes an extreme amount of exertion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to circulate. Like, your lungs are constant. Like, you don't forget how to breathe.
Yeah.
If you imagine, hold your breath right now, and then tell me if breathing was still free.
No, I get that. And because, like, by the end of that time, like, we all have to start out with the free. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we all start out with oxygen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, some people don't recognize the oxygen, and they want to get the thing they think that will make them successful.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you have the breath to talk, to be able to be someone who you want to be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to put yourself out there. And, like, I think interacting with people to get to somewhere, because it's always like, not what you know, is always who you know. Mm-hmm. You know, like, talking to somewhere will get you a job. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To be able to buy you a pen and paper to write your dreams down. Mm-hmm. You know, like, they always say, like, when you spell things, like, on a piece of paper, it's like writing a spell. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're making magic almost in a way. Yeah. And, like, that pen and paper is like your wand, and you're creating something.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why I think it's free, is, like, having the opportunity to be able to talk or wanting to put yourself out there to be able to get to where you want to be. There's nothing's really free at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was getting to.
Yeah. But we all can breathe.
Yeah.
You know? They're not making us put a mask on to breathe. They were, it seemed like, for a while. Yeah. You know what I mean? They were trying to get us to wear a mask, go outside. Yeah. And I'm like, why? I'm outside.
What you shoot for?
I'm like, you want to shoot these birds? You gonna make them all wear one? That's what's so crazy, you know, like. But I think that's why America is like land of the free, because, you know, you can literally be someone on the side of the road, and you never know what kind of talent they have, and you never know what that person is or the things that would happen to them. You know, we have a lot of homeless veterans out there and everything like that, that I think we should be trying to focus on those people.
What's a lot? How many do you think there are?
Oh, man, if I had to think, I forget what the number was, but I know, I want to say between maybe 5,000 to 20,000 maybe of homeless veterans.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, it could be more. Mm-hmm. You know, like, but I know there's a lot of them, and a lot of people who lived in America back in the day served in the military. Yeah. So, like, when we see the people who did serve, and, you know, they realize, because a lot of them have PTSD and suicidal from after they leave the military, because they realize, you know, the wars that we were fighting for should not have been what we were fighting for. You know, I can't speak for a lot of them. My dad was in the military, but he was in the Navy. But, like, for some people from hearing interviews and stuff, like, they'll go to, like, Afghanistan, and they were going into someone's house because they were told to go in there, and they shoot up the whole family. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't know what they even did, but they had orders to go do that. Yeah. You know, and they start probably thinking about their lives afterwards, and they start drinking themselves to death. You know, because, like, no one knows what they went through. No one knew what they saw, what they had to do to think that they were protecting the country. You know, I think that's kind of like the biggest thing, and that's why, like, we do have people who do not like America, and people want to call them terrorists because, you know, we killed their family. I'm like, if someone killed my family, I can only imagine. You know, and I think that's what, like, people really don't understand because we don't live on that world. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that's how I kind of see things because, you know, we're all so different all over the world. We all cannot believe the same exact thing. You know, we can all have an understanding of each other, I feel like, but, you know, we're all not going to understand everybody. And that's what makes the world so great, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It makes it fun, you know?
So you, like, disassociate with a specific archetype of people or genotype of people?
What do you mean by that?
Or, like, what's like-minded to you? Like, as far as understanding people.
If someone's curious.
Common ground. So you find yourself curious?
Well, I see, like, I would imagine I see myself curious, and that's when I meet people like you. You're everyone's curious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We talked when we first met. We pretty much corresponded right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, we all had, like, probably questions of what we had of each other. You know what I mean? Like, and
yeah, I was really appreciative that you asked me to be here too.
Oh no, dude, you're awesome.
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, you too, man.
You know? I forgot we did that the first time when we were hanging out. We were like,
yeah,
clap. Well, like, things like that, you know, like, if I see someone, if I walk and I wave at somebody, I say hi to them, and they don't say hi back, it's not that, like, I'm judging them. I was like, oh, they could have just had something on their mind. But if I see them the next day, I'm still going to try to say hi.
Yeah.
Until they say something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why is this guy saying hi to me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll probably forget your name afterwards, but
yeah.
You know, just something like that. But I don't know. I just feel like never write anyone off. You know, I feel like a lot of people just write people off by they hear one word of something in a political standpoint or a religious standpoint, and they're like, "Oh, you're not in my cult or not in my clan." You know what I mean? You're not in my group, and I don't want to look at things as like a cult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and
what do you want to look at it as?
Oh, just anyone who would be able to talk to people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be able to just talk to somebody and be afraid of saying the wrong thing to them and they want to kill me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, something like that.
Yeah.
And, Groot, you're on the line. Funny dog. Hey, Al. Dab. No, it's funny. But of something like that, you know, like, I don't want to judge people, you know? I feel like at the end of the day, like, we all can have, like, an acceptance of, like, and still have fun. You know, like, yeah, we might be able to stretch it out, but that doesn't mean, like, we need to, like, be their best friend for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, you believe in this, you believe in that. Okay, we can still hang out.
Yeah.
You know, things like that.
Yeah.
But so I see it. I want to see more of it, you know, but
how often do you shave?
How often do I shave? Well, probably like once a week. When I do shave, I break out really fast because I guess I got like sensitive skin. And I was reading that I need to get like a single blade razor because it's less things hitting your skin. But I don't know. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I have a thing with shaving. I know you're not supposed to cut your hair. I think I read that somewhere. It's like goes against because there's a difference in like the grains or something like that, and it's just supposed to be like a natural flow, like your texture on your hair, as opposed to your beard. Because I want to grow a beard. That's why I'm like fiddling with my beard.
Yeah, I want to grow one. Like, it's kind of funny is I fell on my face once after a concert, and I have like had a little hole in my lip right here, and now it's got like a bald spot there.
Yeah.
And I got a little bit right here that's finally growing back and stuff, and there was like kind of like scar tissue like kind of covering it.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like finding its way to grow back again, hopefully. But But when I go to concerts to see these guys with like big beards,
Yeah.
I'm like, I want that big beard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I see the people with like longer hair and a long beard, I'm like, oh, they got a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
the thing.
Yeah. That's what's so cool about like in the Bible and stuff like that. Most of the people, it sounds like they all had like longer hair. You know, they had like wise people. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just kind of interesting because when I see a guy with longer hair, I'm like, oh, that guy's cool. You know what I mean? He doesn't care. He doesn't care what anyone thinks.
Yeah, that's a societal like instrument of control, because like in the military, we were talking about like background and stuff like that. So being in the military was like very constraining. Is constraining a word?
Sounds like one. We can make it one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like very taxing as far as like being free. Like I felt like.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you always had to be prepared for combat. Like with long hair, you know, you don't want someone to take off your hat. Then like you're trying to run and they grab your hair and they pull you down.
Yeah.
It's kind of like horse collaring somebody playing football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you want to make sure that no matter what, you're ready to go. You want your head to be like a torpedo, like almost in a way.
Yeah.
And it's like in football, like if you have like long hair and dreads and stuff like that, like Ricky Williams. I don't know if you ever remember that football player growing up. He used to play like on the Dolphins and the Ravens, and he would have really long dreads. Mm-hmm. And some people would grab his hair and tackle him.
Oh.
That was legal. Yeah. It's legal to do because it's body part.
Yeah.
So like you wield your own sword. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like but then he shaved his head because people kept on his dreads kept on coming out.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. It's like, damn it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I think that's why they do in the military, because like you always gotta be prepared for something.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of funny they don't make girls shave their head.
Yeah. But you can though.
Yeah.
You can.
You can.
What do you where'd you get this painting?
It was at my dad's condo. The guy who he bought it from left it in there. I was like, he left some like a couch and this one living area, and my dad gave it to me, so I thought it would be really good. Kind of be like we're building a beach almost in a way, like I imagine like on my podcast we start with a grain of sand, and we're just shaking like a salt shaker.
Yeah.
And we're trying to create like I want to create like an endless beach to it. Mm-hmm. But I like it a lot. I don't know who it's from, who it's by. I mean, or Otro. But it's not bad. It's got some stains on it from like moving it around, but kind of gives it more character. I like beat up paintings. Yeah. Especially like the frames, because like I don't know, it kind of gives it like more like a different type of like deception or projection or whatever the word is. Like I don't know, like a little bit more 3D.
Yeah.
That's why I like paintings too.
Do you paint ever?
No, I want to. Like I was thinking about it when I was looking at some trees not too long ago. I was just looking at it, I was like, oh man, that'd be an interesting tree to paint.
Yeah.
You know, like just I don't know, the world is so beautiful and we focus on like in our phones thinking the world's on fire. Then we look in front of us like, oh, it's not on fire. You know what I mean? Like I can go outside and enjoy myself.
Yeah.
And be more grounded. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like a lot of people, like myself, I was doing it a lot by just being on my phone all the time and trying to think I'm saving the world by like making comments and doing things in that. And I was like, well, when you're texting somebody and you're caring for them, they also might not read your text the same way as you're trying to project it. You know what I mean? It's like they say you can never send a text as a joke. Because they might not see it the way that you're writing it. Yeah. You know? That's why the audio thing, like a walkie-talkie is good. Yeah. Because then you're like, okay, this guy's messing around a little bit. Yeah. Just like things like that. But I don't know, like it's kind of funny because when people read books and people who are good readers and everything, they can laugh at books. which is hilarious because they start to know the writer. You know what I mean? Like that's very, very cool to me. Like what things I would really want to do, like if I ever got to the point, is like really start like writing my own stories and like directing the things I try to write, or like things I was like influenced in of what really inspired me. You know, like now I don't know, it just feels like the movies now and TV shows now they're just trying to come out with that season, and they're just see if it makes it or not, instead of like coming out with a new episode every week. Yeah. Like how we used to see back in the day.
Yeah.
People can nitpick it, you know, and then they're like, okay, next week let's change it up a little bit. Yeah. You know, maybe we can still give what the crowd wants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like almost in a way. And and I'd see we're putting way too much AI into things instead of really putting like real things into creating things into it, like making a stage.
Yeah.
Because like if we look at old scary movies like Freddy Krueger and all those type of movies, like they didn't have AI. You know what I mean? Like that's what made it more scarier because like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like that's a guy actually wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And making people scared.
Yeah.
And you see like an AI guy on this television, and you're like, oh, that's not scary.
Yeah.
I'm too used to this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's just what's so different. What I want to see and do things, because like I don't know, like acting is amazing. You know, like if you can be someone that you're not and be able to put it on a screen and be a character, which is very cool. I was always a big fan of Heath Ledger, you know, like the Joker and everything, and Knight's Tale when he was in that movie and everything too, because like the Joker was like one of my favorite characters growing up. Everyone always saw him as a villain, but he was just looking for someone to understand him, you know, and that's what's so beautiful. If I could ever play a character, I would love to be the Joker.
Word.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of like, I forget what movie it was, but it was about like this guy like called the Jackal. And the Jackal was a guy kind of like Jack in the Box. And he had like a cage wrapped around his head and stuff like that. And like who let the Jackal out? You know, and I always wanted to kind of write something like based on something like that, because who let the Jack out of the box?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like who let him out of society?
Yeah,
and things like that. Because like I think we all have something to say and something to laugh about, and it could be dark, it could be good, you know. But like let's get it out there and see what we can turn out of it, from the good and the bad.
Yeah,
and that might be the Pisces in me, like of yin and yang. But I don't know. I'm a little bit everywhere. But what about you? If you could pick a character of something that like you would want, like of a character you grew up liking.
Hannibal Lecter.
Huh?
Hannibal Lecter.
Who's that?
Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter. Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, okay. I never seen it.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Beautiful film.
Really?
That and Red Dragon.
Red Dragon?
Yeah.
I think I've heard of it. That was a book first, right?
I'm not sure, but I know it's a movie.
Okay.
Silence of the Lambs is amazing.
I know I've heard of her. It's a scary movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And my grandfather, that was a book before Silence of the Lambs, wasn't it?
I don't know.
It might be. I could be totally wrong. I'm pretty sure my grandfather read the book or told me about the movie. And he said it was a very, very... He said if you want to see a scary movie, that's the movie you want to see.
Yeah. It's intense.
You really?
Yeah.
That's really cool. You know, like it's... There's things like that. They don't make movies like that anymore. I feel like you kind of have to write a book first. Yeah.
If I had to pick a different character besides Hannibal Lecter, though, because that's... You say character, even though Joker's like based on a comic book, but when you say character, I feel like that means something fictitious. And then because people are still dying every day, you know what I'm saying? There's a piece of me that empathizes, and then there's a piece of me that wants to end the world because of all the conflict.
Yeah.
Because people can't keep their ducks in a row. And it doesn't really make a difference in the bigger picture of things. But I find that, like how we were speaking about earlier with the ego and everything like that, I used to be big into like Teen Titans and like comic books and stuff like that. But then as I grew up, because of the household that I grew up in, I started to understand both sides of the hero or the protagonist and the antagonist, and the hero and the villain. And I found that oftentimes the villain was just misunderstood, or they went through something that they went through the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
And
or like a law was created and they couldn't be that person anymore, and they're breaking the laws, and they're like, well, you changed the law. Now I'm seen as something else.
Yeah.
Something like that too. No, that was one of my favorite shows, like Teen Titans. I was always a big fan of Beast Boy and everything like that, and Raven. Raven was also really cool.
Can I get some more water?
Yeah. Grab that for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. But no, like going back to that, I really believe, like when I was talking about like people's ego and stuff like that, and you really see like who they really are from it, is like darkness does have to show for the light to show. Because like some people always ask, like, if God was real, why is there good and the bad? You know what I mean? Like, why would there be so much conflict? I'm like, well, then we really wouldn't be so free-minded. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be so curious and be really who we are. We would be like an AI robot. Yeah. Almost in a way. And like if there is a God, and I believe that there is, then like the people who went through that suffering most likely, end up praying to a God almost in a way. And he saved them maybe, going to heaven. I think when they talk about like we start out as like pretty much dirt and everything and dust, it makes me think like when we die, we go up as a spirit and we get collected as dust and become a star. Then that's kind of like the heaven that I imagine when we become part of like a galaxy of a painting, like almost in a way. But that's just like how I kind of see things. But like, I feel like there has to be good and bad. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like what podcasts are, like what's creating is like, it is the new type of media. Because to say like when you're watching TV, like Fox News and CNN, you're only seeing like clips. Like, even like ESPN, you're not really seeing like real analysts. They're being scripted of what to say instead of like really being like their own type of person and being really, really free thinkers. Yeah. And you really get to see like really who they are and the actions of what that person is doing afterwards. Like I don't think anyone's perfect, but I think we all have a story to tell in a way, and we all can kind of learn from it. Like if I can do this and make money from it, that'd be awesome. But I would give back as much as I could. Maybe it's like the people who helped me get here, like is what created it, and I would try to like help out other people to learn and everything like that, because I feel like I was so fortunate to be able to watch a lot of things of like archaeology growing up and wanting to watch it, and have the access to a computer and be able to look up those things and be curious, and instead of like going to school, which wasn't the biggest fan of school, but like I didn't want to learn the things of what they were teaching. I felt like it was kind of like all BS, and instead of like really what they're asking us, what we want to learn. I think people or parents should like raise their kid to 11 years old and giving them real family values and seeing like what the core is, then go into like a school. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't know, it gets different, because I feel like that would stop the bullying almost in a way, and kind of get them more like mentally prepared of like society almost too. And they don't teach finance. They don't teach people like how to like get money, or how to not lose their money. You know what I mean? Like leaving high school, they want to just tell you, go to college, everything will be fine. Then people are still somewhat lost after college. You know what I mean? Like they feel like, wait, I'm in debt now. Yeah. And now I can get myself out of debt because you can't claim bankruptcy on your college. Oop. You might, yeah, probably turn that. Oh, you got it? Cool. But just things like that. I don't know. I feel like society kind of traps ourselves, but we also put ourselves in that position because we don't know. Like we're just getting unknown guidance because people would just want to collect a paycheck in a way too. Instead of like really us just all grow in society. I feel like so many people have so many hidden gifts and they don't even know how to use it. You know, I mean, they want to do the things that they want to do, but like they put themselves in a situation that someone else guided them to, and they're like, "Oh, dang! Now I'm limiting myself to be the person who I really want to be," and instead of really knowing how to look for it themselves. So that's what's kind of like I see that's a little bit more difficult in society now, because it feels like we're getting things handed to us way too fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like now we got kids at 15 years old all having iPhones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's, I feel like you shouldn't have a smartphone. It should be illegal until you're 18 years old. Like for real.
Yeah.
Like to walk around with.
I remember wanting a cell phone when I was growing up, and my mom got us the track phone.
What was that?
It's like a prepaid cell phone. It's
like you pay for your minutes and everything like that on it?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying like you can track it. Like, I was like, what kind of phone did your mom buy you, dude? That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, it was it had the snake game on it. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I used to have a Nokia.
Yeah.
And it would have it on there and everything. That was like one of my favorite games. So
Yeah.
all I wanted to play was Snake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My babysitter had her on her phone, so I was like, let me see your phone. But like things like that, like that's such a simple game, and kids don't play games like that on their phone anymore. Now they're playing like who knows what, you know, like playing Call of Duty on their phones. I'm like, man, you can't wait till you get home and play it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And be more appreciative of it.
Yeah.
And now like video games like Call of Duty, you can buy things, you know, to like make yourself look better than you are.
Yeah.
And not really being like an actual performer in the game. Like some guy might be like dressed up to the dime, but that guy might suck. You know what I mean? Like, you look good, but you bring the team down. You know what I mean? Like, if that makes sense. In the game, you can buy like all these things to make your guns look like that you made these achievements, and you didn't get those achievements. You bought them. Then you think you got a good guy on your team, and he's not that good. It's like, damn, dude. It's like that football player who gets his big contract and loses the mentality of like why he was getting there. And that's what you kind of see that with football and baseball and everything like that. They get all the money, then they start playing bad after that big contract because they're not fighting for anything anymore.
Yeah, it's like the sophomore slump in the
exactly.
Industry.
Yeah. It's like you're gonna play good your first year, or you're gonna play bad your first year. You're gonna learn from it. So sometimes it's better for a person to sit out their first couple of years so they can just watch everything and take notes from like a lot of veterans who have been there before. And I feel like a lot of people they want to listen to themselves more instead of listening to someone like who's been through it and everything. But yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I like talking to older people, because they always have something to say. You know what I mean? Like, there's this one guy named Dan who I met at YPs, and one of my buddies, Jeff, and everything like that. They're older than me, and they always have something to say back. You know, they've been through something, and you've been through something, and they're willing to hear it. You know, and they're not ready to write you off. You know, they've been through it before. They're like, okay, what's this guy have to say?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what's so kind of cool about life, because when people see like homeless people on the side of the road, they get so used to seeing them on the side of the road, they see them as nothing. And you know, they are somebody. Everyone's somebody. And sometimes everyone just needs a little bit of a push to get out of where they want to be.
Yeah.
You know, and ask them if they want to get help, and someone will say no. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But would you take it? You got it.
Yeah.
You know? So I try to take what I can get.
Yeah. I feel you.
But
yeah, I think the homeless thing is one of the main reasons why we were talking about like we got a little political for a second. You were saying that you would be your own president. But I don't think it's appropriate for that to be a mentality and for people to walk by people who they think have lesser than them.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. You always should look at them equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even necessarily that they have to be equal. They just don't have to be subservient to you. You can carry yourself as regal or as pompous or royal as you feel.
But at the very end of the day, we all bleed blood at the same exact time. And there was one thing I heard in my head before. It was like, never look down at people, no matter if you do get really successful in life. You know what I mean? Like, if you go to a music festival, you know, like, you're not flaunting of what you got. We're all here for the one thing, it's music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of interesting. And it's great how you said that, because, like, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, we should never look down at anybody, no matter what. You know what I mean? Because, like, in their mind, you know, like, they're bigger than you. You know what I mean? Like, things like that. And I never want to look like I'm bigger than anybody else. Like, when it was funny because when I was out with one of my moms, with her and with her friends and stuff like that, and I was just grabbing a drink at the bar, and then I ended up talking to these girls. And it was funny because my mom's friend's date is like this big real estate guy, and he was like, man, your son acts like he's 10 foot tall. Because I'm like talking to these girls, and they're just like at a party, and I'm just talking to them, you know, just being like associated. Yeah. And you never know who you're going to run into. Like things like that, just by saying hi. Yeah. And it was just kind of funny because, like, it all starts with a hello. You know what I mean? And just things like that, which I like a lot. You know, you have to put yourself out there, and same with helping out people. You know, like people can walk the walk, but can they? Oh well, people can talk the talk, but can they walk the walk? And can they walk by and tell somebody they're doing a good job? You know what I mean? Like, the other day I saw the people working on the construction on my road and stuff like that. And I'm at a halt. You know what I mean? I'm stuck in traffic, and I see them working. And I rolled down my window, and I wanted to say, like, and I just told them, I just want to let you guys know, you guys are doing a great job. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I see, like, the guy who's, like, their manager, like, pointing to everything like that. I said, I hope they're keeping you in line or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, things like that. Yeah. Because if it was for them, you know, he wouldn't, like, be doing a good job either. You know what I mean? Like, everyone always says, like, you got 5 people working, but you only got 1 person working. You know, when you're doing construction. Yeah. But all these guys are working. I mean, these guys are communicating with walkies, getting people going walk.
The cranes.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's a team effort. Yeah. You know, like, when they say there's no I in team, but there is me. But people need to get that mentality out of there.
I think Jordan said that.
Who?
Did Jordan say that?
Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Really? I can see him saying that. Yeah. But it starts with you, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because people kind of looked at Michael Jordan probably as an asshole too of his demeanor, but the guy knew what he wanted. You know what I mean? It's like, I might miss this shot, but I can make it to win it.
Yeah, hardly though. Yeah, that's the thing about.
It's like always having faith. You know what I mean?
It's not even faith. It is faith, but there's a certain air of confidence that comes when you know that you're good at something. You know what I'm saying? It would be different. Like, he played baseball as well. Yeah. And it's not like professional baseball. He didn't like start out as a basketball player and then just say like, oh, hey, I'm going to do something different. And it ended up being a hobby. He was getting paid to play both sports.
Yeah, they want to see like what could he been done, like Deion. Well, Deion was just a great athlete all around. You know what I mean? Like, I was a freak, like, at everything he did. You know, he was one of my favorite players to be able to look back on and watch.
So you've been watching Colorado?
A little bit, like in the beginning of the year and stuff. It's hard for me to watch a lot of sports nowadays and stuff, unless I'm at a bar. Because if I watch it at home, I just fall asleep. I watch it on the couch and everything. I have to be like next to somebody to be able to watch it with them. It's kind of funny. But I need to watch them more because I think you know, his 2 sons and everything on the team. Then, you know, his son's the quarterback and stuff like that. It's kind of funny because it seems like they're all going to go to Dallas.
Oh, really?
And it just looks way too much like that. Like,
Word.
You know what I mean? Because like Jerry Jones loves them. Yeah, that one crazy commercial back in the day is like when they signed Deion Sanders, and he was like saying like, "Yeah, I might just play wide receiver too. I'm gonna be on both sides." You know what I mean? Like and he wasn't arrogant. He wasn't too cocky because he can do it on the field. And I mean, like when he got drafted by the Falcons, wearing the Jerry curls, like coming out there and everything like that, wearing like the red suit, kind of like Eddie Murphy and Michael Jackson, almost in a way. I think he wore red. I want to say he did. I could be totally wrong. I think it was black and gold, but I think they wore red. But like, if as long as you can back it up and still be a good person, I think that's fine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you want to see that competitiveness into somebody, because like then we also don't know what their life is like behind closed doors with their kids.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They could be completely different from what we're seeing because they're battling all day long on a football field.
Yeah.
So obviously something's going to come out that they're at war with, you know. But no, I really see like him and his sons going to Dallas because of what's going on there. Like it just feels like Dak Prescott's not going to be there.
Yeah.
I think he might not be the quarterback. I think he's good in the right system and everything, but it feels like they're kind of giving up on that team. And it would be pretty damn cool if we saw Deion Sanders go out there and sign with him with a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And just like rocking it.
Yeah.
And because like people would want to go play with him. You know, like you can get the good offense coordinator, you can get the good defensive coordinator, but if you don't have the core, you know what I mean, like the inspiration and everything like that, not be afraid to what to say, because when he first went to Colorado, he pretty much told people transfer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, look around.
Yeah.
And don't compare yourself too much. But if you want to be here, you can be here.
Yeah.
But that guy next to you is probably going to take your spot. So it's kind of like, you know, Simon Cowell from like American Idol. He's going to give you the most criticism, but he always says like, I want you to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Almost in a way. You know what I mean? Is that my doorbell? What was that? Never heard that sound before in my life.
That was my phone.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
All the way over there?
Yeah.
You have another phone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, holy cow. That's hilarious. But just things like that, like that's why like it's hard to have good coaches in the NFL. Because some of them are just way too soft. They're just like a player's coach.
Yeah.
You know, like we do need sergeants out there to push it. Because like if you like look at becoming like a Navy SEAL, they're pushing you till you can't move anymore. You have to say to give up.
Yeah.
You know, like I saw this video of these SEALs, and they pretty much told this guy to step down. And they told him to ring the bell 3 times to say that you're officially done. And he goes up to it, and he rings it like 8 times, being ignorant. You know what I mean? It's like, we knew you were going to do something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why we don't want you here, because you're going to cost someone their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to think too much of yourself. And I think that's really what creates a company or what creates a team, and, you know, also you too. You know, like myself, you know, I'm not just saying you, but, you know, everybody, you know. That's what's so awesome, what anyone can create in a way. But you gotta start somewhere, and that's the thing. Start as a snowflake, grain of sand, you know what I mean? Create a beach, create a snowman, maybe a snowman on the beach.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah. It's possible. Just freeze it. Just bring it out there.
What do you think about the 49ers?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're a 49ers fan, right?
Partially. I like Dan Marino.
Yeah.
He played for the 49ers, right?
No, he was in the Dolphins.
Oh, he's on the Dolphins.
He was on the Dolphins, yeah.
No,
you're talking about Joe Montana?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Montana and Steve Young. No, I love the older 49ers. It just feels like that team now, you got such a great coach. You got, it's say like a Brandon Ayuk, you know, the wide receiver for them and everything right now. He still had 2 years left on his contract, and he wanted to get paid right now. You know what I mean? And he got that big contract just like $30 million a year, and now he's not performing. So it's kind of like they could have used that money to get someone else to help build that team even more.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like he took up a piece. And it wasn't his time yet to get that contract, because you did sign the initial contract. I'm going to be here on this team for 4 years, and you sign your 5th-year option and stuff like that. And then you could have went somewhere else afterwards. You can still win a Super Bowl. They were a Super Bowl winning team right now. If they just could have maybe one more player on that offense, because he's not performing. Now they're double covering him, and now he's looking not like how he used to be. But they had this other guy named Jennings. I forget his first name, Tim Jennings or something like that. And he's just balling out, and just straight balling, because like they're putting the 2 guys on him. And this guy is just a monster. He's just dominating. It's like, oh, now it looks like this guy deserves that contract. Things like that. But no, I think they're a great team. I'm a big Giant fan of Kyle Shanahan because he was the Falcons' offensive coordinator. I do think that they made some mistakes from when they traded for Trey Lance, when they traded all those draft picks and everything for him, because they saw him too much as the future, with still having a quarterback who brought them to the NFC Championship and do the Super Bowl. And that was still young, and Jimmy Garoppolo. And so I feel like they could still won it with him. But I think they were just scared that he wasn't going to make it, because he always got hurt. But no, they're a phenomenal team. They got a great coaching staff. They got John Lynch as their general manager, who used to be a safety for the 49ers back in the day. And I think for the 49ers, I think he was for Tampa. I could be completely wrong, but he was a monster. Safeties back then compared to now, they would just drop their shoulders and just like everyone go flying. Now you can't really do that so much, because I don't know, people hit too hard. But that's the point of the game. That's why they get paid so much. People always say like, well, they're getting paid so much. I'm like, yeah, they never know when it's gonna be their last down. And I mean, that's why they have a certain amount of guarantee. They might look like on paper they're getting so much, but they say like a player might have a $120 million contract, but he's guaranteed $60 million if he can make all those years. I mean, they're, and also achievements too of those part of the contract, because they could say like, we never know really what's in the contract. I mean, they could say like, you have to get 80 catches to get this extra pay bonus. I mean, like we agreed to this, but you gotta get these catches. Like Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski. I think he was like 2 catches away to make $1 million. And Tom Brady said, don't take me out of this game until he gets these catches. Because I can only give him the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they already made the playoffs pretty much, I'm pretty sure. So you didn't have to even finish the game out. They were already blowing them out, whoever they were playing. So just like, you care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. That's why I love football. Because like, yeah, it might be one down for everything, and it's only like 3 to 4 seconds. But man, what a chess game.
Yeah.
It's
intense.
Yeah. Well, what made you like the 49ers?
I prefer the Chargers.
Really? Okay.
But I'll set the 49ers because you brought up some reference you made to like work or something like that, and I was gonna bring up like mining. I was gonna ask you if you like mining. I can't remember where this conversation was going.
Yeah.
But there was.
What do you mean by mining?
Mining, like coal mining.
Oh, okay.
Like when we were talking about oxygen and stuff like that. Because of like conflict diamonds.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of money that's involved. It's like serial numbers that correspond to tree rings and stuff like that. Like the paper is no longer viable. Like it's not even printed on the same
type of paper what it used to be like on
texture.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of more like monopoly money almost in a way now.
It's not monopoly money. It's more so electronic. Like with the
They pretty much got like QR codes in them now.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. I was gonna say crypto, but we had already blew past that.
Yeah, like the $100 bill has got that strip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting because when I was trying to put money in the bank the other day, because I have to go between like two banks, and the one bank gave me a couple older hundreds, and the ATM wouldn't take the older hundreds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like unrecognizable. I'm like, this bank, the other bank gave it to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it made me question it. I was like, don't tell me this bank just ripped me off.
Right. It's one of those discrepancies that I wrote about in my book, Money Talks, like a few years back. I didn't get it published or anything like that because I lost the files for it. But I got into the gold standard and the silver standard and like currency exchange and mint and
kind of like the Tea Party, things like that back in the day.
Yeah, and like who invented it, like why Benjamin Franklin's on the 100, why Lincoln's on the penny, and like what the significance behind getting
evaluated and being put on those things.
Yeah.
No, it's very interesting, especially like when like what makes gold so like worth so much.
Yeah.
And like a little piece of gold can cover like this whole entire table. It could just like spread, and also too it could be used as like a medicine if you can extract it to like a liquid and everything. Like same with silver. I forget what it's called. It's like colonial silver or something like that. They'll do like an electrical charge with a silver bar, kind of like jumper cable was like on it, and they'll extract it and put it in distilled water, and it could be used for as a medicine. You know what I mean? Silver is very soft, same with gold and copper and everything. And because our bodies are a runoff metal, you know what I mean? Like our runoff minerals and everything like that. And gold is the most interesting one in my opinion, because when you do it with silver, you have to put it like in a brown jar so the light won't kill it. Pretty much, so it has to stay like in a dark place. And with gold, it like pretty much, I think it like evaporates more faster. So you have to extract it with sugar. So it'll stick to the sugar and everything. And the best way to do it, from what I saw from extracting gold into liquid, was like with high fructose corn syrup, because it's pretty much the most pure sugar you can use. And when you do it, it turns like an emerald color, like a ruby color. And if you cook it on a hot plate, it's very interesting, because like when you do it too long and you kill it, it turns black. So you know you did it wrong then. It has to stay like that ruby looking color. And this guy who did it, he did it with honey once, and it was like a different type of color. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, it's got to be more pure. So he did the other experiment with high fructose corn syrup, and it was like bam. And it's crazy because you get like a little vial like this, and you can buy it on like Amazon of like liquid gold, and you don't know really how much they put in there. They just think you put more food coloring in it. You know what I mean? Like,
So
you never know like how diluted something is. But they would sell something like that for like $100. You know what I mean? And it's like a medicine, and it can cure cancer, they think. They think like the reason why we're mining so much gold and collecting it is for like the Anunnaki, like the aliens, like who started this world, they say, and we're mining it. And for what planet that they're at, they're losing like its atmosphere, and they want to collect the gold particles and throw it on their world so they can change their atmosphere again.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts if you look up like the Anunnaki and everything, and definitely check them out. They're really cool.
How do you spell that?
I think it's A-N-U, then like N-A-K-I, Anunnaki. I could be totally wrong, but there's this one really good channel called the Y Files, and they're a really amazing channel because like they talk about like all these like things, and they try to debunk a lot of things by talking about it and giving their own perspective, and to get you really thinking about it. You know what I mean? Instead of like them telling you the answer of it. You know, like they want you to, because I used to read a lot of things and watch a lot of videos about that like when I was younger, and someone made a channel about it, like all these like with everything, like say like with Atlantis, Agartha, just like things like that. You know, like
What's Agartha?
Agartha is like the center of the earth. So some people believe the Atlanteans, when things were going bad and the world was shifting, they went to the center of the earth. And Hitler was looking for it, apparently, and he looked at the world like it's an eyeball. So he sent his troops to Antarctica at this point. And because I think there was a pilot in America back in the day when he flown across the whole entire world. I forget his name. It was some admiral. And he sees like this pretty much a different world in Antarctica. And Hitler got his troops and mapped out everything there, and because he was apparently looking for like more advanced technologies, you know what I mean, because they were experimenting with everything, you know what I mean, like, and they apparently had UFOs that they had, like Nazis had and stuff like that. And so Agartha, they looked at the world like it's an eyeball. So like if you ever put a needle in your pupil, you won't feel it. It's hollow. So they just see it as like the hollow earth. And it could be, you know, that could be the hell. It could be the, you know, it could be the Garden of Eden. You know what I mean? Like they did something wrong and they sent the other people out. You know what I mean? To start anew.
Yeah.
And that could totally make a lot of sense, you know. But yeah, definitely looking at Agartha. They even made an animated movie about it. It's very interesting. I've always been fascinated in that because if we look at the guy, I forget who it was. I think he directed The Matrix or something. He had like white hair, but he went on an excursion down to like the Marianas Trench. I think that's what it's called, like the deepest part of the ocean, and that we know of. And he saw like a thing that looked like a door, and at the very bottom of the ocean, like in caves. So you think like, oh, what could be down there?
Yeah.
You know, like, and we never know because like a cave underwater, you go underneath it, you pop up and there's air.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could be a whole different world. And just very interesting in my opinion. Like I just like to question things about like the past, like deep in the past. Like because I think we're at a point right now, like we can learn from the mistakes that we're doing. But what made a lot of these things fallen? And are those people still out there? Like are those, because now we see UFOs coming out of the water. And not really from outer space. And it kind of makes you think like did those people just like made a super advanced civilization and we don't even know about it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's, and they're just waiting to kind of come out to be like almost accepted in a way.
Yeah.
And so we can kind of both live equally. Because I feel like also too, like Joe Rogan said, like he feels like the aliens are here so we don't blow each other up.
Yeah.
Like that's how it talks like in the Book of Enoch in a way, like with the Watchers and stuff. And it's pretty interesting. Like, because people always want to write off the Bible. I'm like, well, like, I haven't read the whole thing, but have you read a page?
Yeah.
You know, things like that. Like, I definitely see like people as hypocritical of things like I'm not following the Bible 100%. But no one can say like why they believe it, how or why they believe in God. You know what I mean? Like I think if you know the morals and things like that of like the right and wrong, then those are the only laws you need to follow. You know, law of the universe and law of like science and physics at the same exact time. Because we cannot say like numbers and stuff. I might be on a tangent right now, but like I don't know, numbers like always existed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was always 1 and 2, man, woman, kid, chicken and egg. What came first? Chicken or the egg? You know what I mean? Things like that.
Yeah.
So like that's what's when we were hearing like the Pythagorean theorem, the guy who founded the Pythagorean theorem and stuff like that, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Like it's not that he founded it, like he just rediscovered it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's always been there.
Yeah.
And that's what's so crazy because like if that's true, then that means everything's coded. And then we are kind of living in a type of matrix or simulation, and we all create our own universe. That's why I'm saying like we are our own president, and we should look at everyone as like they're our president too.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, you know, everyone votes count. You know what I mean? Like, and when I go back and say like I'm only gonna vote for myself,
Yeah.
But like, say like if I knew of something was gonna like, if it was really back and forth on this election, if I knew that my vote was gonna count, I would have 100% voted. But like, I just didn't know why I would want to vote for either side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I still want to be able to say, like, I didn't vote for Biden, I didn't vote for Kamala, I didn't vote for Trump, I didn't vote for Hillary, I didn't vote for Obama. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be, like, more the most down-the-middle person and, like, not write each other off. Mm-hmm. You know? And then when I say, like, oh, yeah, hopefully, maybe one day I will run for something. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But, like, when I do have, like, maybe a bigger platform of something like this, it's, like, not what I'm going to say who I'm going to vote for.
Yeah.
It's really voting on the person of really who they are and really dissecting of who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why I kind of see things, because, you know, we do, like I said from before, they want to show all the plane crashes, but there's not that many plane crashes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
But you have anything else you want to say before we get lunch?
No, I'm actually starving.
All right, let's do it. Let's get some food. Hey, thanks for coming on, Elijah.
Thank you, man.
Sorry, I just scratched my foot with this one.
Oh, right.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully, y'all didn't hear so much of the lawn work next to us, but it was a good time.
Yeah.
Appreciate coming on again.